Today's guests are Andrew Cameron Bailey and Connie Baxter Marlow, who are original thinkers, writers, photographers, filmmakers, and futurists. Their explorations into the essence of reality have led a unique articulation of the conscious, loving, abundant nature of the universe. And I'm so thrilled that they are bringing their amazing wisdom of the trust frequency to Elevate Festival this summer. Connie and Andrew, welcome to Voices of Elevate. It's
Hello,
so good
Jenna.
to have you here,
What
all
a
the way
treat.
across the pond.
Across the
Yes,
pond.
it takes
Yeah,
Andrew
you-
home.
Yeah, I'm actually a Warwickshire lad, born in Coventry and moved to South Africa, grew up there, and then went sailing and ended up in America. And here I still am.
with your sweetheart.
And my ancestors came from England.
They did exactly the same
I've
thing.
traced them, the Baxter ancestries all the way back to Rowton near Shrewsbury in the 1500s. And then through my grandmother, I'm a Mayflower descendant from William Mullins, who lived in Dorking, who came across in the Mayflower with his two children and his wife.
Oh,
So I've
amazing.
got some
Yeah.
British heritage.
And
So
my
probably
grew up
all
in New
related
England.
anyway.
Nancy grew up in New England, and my ancestors are from Gloucester. My father's ancestors are from Gloucestershire.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so we've got a deeply English thing here. And the Mayflower descendants, of whom there are about 30 million in this country right now, Connie's ancestors, are English history. They're the beginning of American history, but they're also English. So this whole thing is very, very important to England. And this light that the English have been known to bring to the world. We don't have a very good reputation now because of some of the other things that happened. But quite honestly, so much light and love and beauty and wisdom and vision came out of the British Isles and then spread over the whole world, bringing Celtic and Druidic and all these different wisdoms from ancient times.
Oh, I'm so glad that you said that. It actually gave me goosebumps because we
Oh.
do have so much negative
Mhm.
that I feel guilty of for my ancestors. You know, sometimes you can carry this sort of ancestral guilt around, can't you, when you hear of what
Yeah.
we've done to people around the world. So to actually hear that, it actually gave me goosebumps. It felt
Well,
really lovely.
a lot of our work has to do with the spiritual origins of the United States that started in Cambridge and Scrooby, way up north in Scrooby, a little town. And the folks that the nonconformist separatists who stood up to the King of England and said, no, we're not going to your church, committed treason and had to flee England to Holland, spent 12 years there, and came over seeking to build a community and society based on freedom of conscience, our direct relationship to the divine. And they met with the Native Americans who have that same creator-based way of living. And so we do a lot of work bringing the Mayflower Pilgrims and the Native Americans together in a synthesis, showing the synthesis that gave birth to the American mind, spirit, and democracy. So we're looking to speak on this in England while we're there, because it's key.
Amazing.
English don't understand it, the Americans don't understand it. And once we really go to the origin story of America and recognize its spiritual beginnings, we can shift it into a higher frequency, which is what we call the trust frequency.
Yeah, now the trust frequency is what you'll be really sharing with us at Elevate, isn't it? And it's amazing because Elevate was birthed in the trust frequency. And when I was looking on your website, I really liked the description of the trust frequency, and you had a few, but one of them I wrote it down because I actually thought it sounded beautiful, and it was just a really way of describing it. It said, the trust frequency is a higher vibratory realm where your soul's destiny awaits with more joy, beauty, freedom, peace, and abundance than we can imagine, aka heaven on earth. You know, yes.
It's true. Heaven.
And to call it heaven
is,
on earth, I mean, that's like,
yeah.
what Jesus was talking about. You know,
Yeah.
Jesus knew all about this, and then
He was a
that,
way shower into
yes,
that frequency, with the loaves and fishes, the unlimited abundance. Okay, in a higher frequency, the laws are expanded, and it's a completely different reality. And Jesus, with the healing, with the heart, with the loaves and fishes, he showed us what it's like there, where we're going. See, for us, it's where we're going. It's what's
yeah,
up. It's absolutely everything serves that.
And let me say something more, a little tiny gem here about heaven on earth. And it says it in the book. You do not have to die to get to heaven. It's right here, right now. We forgot. Once we remember, guess what happens? Heaven on earth. Literally true.
yeah.
It's not this whole fantasy. It's I think it's about, promising them something in the future. There's this one religion promises every man who dies in war 74 virgins. I mean, one's more than enough. A handful of virgins. And
Yeah.
anyway, point is that if we can remember who we are, it's as simple as that. So the new book is about this, the old book is about that, and the Mayflower book is also about that. Once we remember who we are and where we are, if you can really know that you are a beautiful, loving being with just cosmic connection and cosmic potential, living in a planet that is so absolutely beautiful. I grew up in Africa, South Africa, among subtropical Africa, among all of you know what the wildlife's like there? Do you know what nature's like there? The ocean's like there, the mountains? It is heaven on earth. And once somebody reminds us or we remember, that literally changes everything in who we are. We somehow pop into this thing that we call the trust frequency. And once we're in that state of unconditional love and acceptance, even of the things that we would choose, we wouldn't choose wars and disease and those kinds of things. But even those come to us with, at the very least, a lesson, an experience, because we are spirits in the material world. And even if we get a disease that opens our hearts, wakes us up, makes us appreciate our last breath, and we're gone, guess what? We're still spirits. We're just not on planet Earth right now. Apparently, we can come back. I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah. We choose to incarnate in this reality that we're bringing, that we choose to incarnate, and we give permission to the conscious loving universe to go on our journey to self-love and self-acceptance and alignment with our divinity and our purpose. So this is our Dance of Souls online course that we do, and our in-person course, which we're going to be doing there, that we give permission. So everything happens for us, not to us in our lives, because there's an overarching act of free will. And so we get to see our light, how beautiful we are, and we get to see our shadow, those parts of ourselves we don't love yet. And once we recognize that we're not victims of circumstance, we are beneficiaries of circumstance. And everyone in our life is showing us that light and that shadow. So rather than saying, oh, get out of my life, you're just like Dad, you just abandoned me again, you didn't go to the movies with me when you promised me you would, instead of saying that, saying, oh, thank you so much. You just brought up my abandonment issues, and what's below my abandonment issues? Well, I don't feel I should be here. I'm not okay. I shouldn't have ever been born. I'm not okay. I'm stupid. I'm, less than.
Unworthy.
Unworthy. So that's the key part of what we'll be bringing to the Elevate,
Yeah.
along with Amanda Waring, who is going to be doing some sound healing. And Amanda, you know how much
Yeah, she's
she's
an
brought to the
amazing
world.
medicine woman, and
She
like
introduced us.
she has
Jenna.
such a lot that she does, a filmmaker as well, an actress, and somebody who actually sang for the Queen of England.
Yeah. And she's a
She's
poet.
got
She's
an
a phenomenal
amazing
poet.
history, and she does amazing things, and she's such a beautiful human.
Yeah.
And sound healer, she's going to be taking people into embodying. Our stuff is really more intellectual, so that we can align our minds with our hearts and walk on earth in absolute trust of a conscious, loving universe. So she's going to be bringing that into embodiment with some movement and some sound healing and poetry and stuff. So it's going to be a really fun time together there at Elevate.
It's really interesting as well, that because that's something that I see with people that I work with and even friends, how blocked they become because the mind and the heart is disconnected, or there's traumas, and so they're not really seeing the universe as this loving, beautiful ally. It becomes more of like, oh, this is happening to me, and they kind of, they're a victim. They're in that victim mentality a lot of the time, and that can really block us, can't it, from experiencing this heaven on earth. And it can be very difficult if you're somebody with, say, a chronic illness that's had a lot of trauma in your life, to go from there and to trust enough. What would you say to people that are kind of in that kind of dark hole, in that big shadow? What would you say to them, to go from there into the trust frequency?
Connie, may I?
Yes.
And especially people who have been sexually abused as children. I was married to one for 28 years. We have 5 kids together. And it became impossible once these memories came back for her to be with a man. And I was the man. I was the man in her life. And therefore, somehow I became to blame, if you will, for all of those things that happened to her when she was a little girl that she'd forgotten about. When those memories came back, I didn't know it then, but our marriage was doomed. And we worked really, really hard, and we failed miserably. And eventually we just had to part company, which is a really sad thing. So it's one of the most difficult, it's the most difficult thing I've ever encountered. But the point is this: my ex to this day is profoundly embedded in victim consciousness. Everything she sees is through the lens of a victim. And the whole point of what Connie was just saying about circumstance, no matter what the circumstance, that is circumstance. Somebody comes, you're a little girl, there's a man, and something happens. This too is something, hard as it is to, and impossible as it is to believe from the victim standpoint, that person is bringing you an opportunity for your soul, your spirit, an opportunity for growth. And every person who just maybe annoys us by shoving us on the bus, or whatever it all is, everybody, and brings up our anger, and the mirror that they're holding up, it says, you think you're all enlightened? Guess what? Take this. And you go, fuck you, or some such thing. We all have stuff.
Yeah.
Some of us have stuff that dominates our lives. Some of us have stuff. Connie and I, boy, do we ever get triggered?
Yeah. So that's the thing. Our triggers show us our work to do.
Yeah.
So what's at the base of this is a worldview shift into understanding. See, this construct that we bring with the trust frequency is a construct that says, okay, it's a conscious, loving universe. We came here to experience everything we are experiencing for our soul's journey to self-love, self-acceptance, and alignment with our divinity and purpose. So we keep incarnating on this journey. So this life walk, we may have come for abandonment. We may have come for this sexual abuse piece. I mean, in this construct, we're saying you take it as absolutely true. It's up to the individual what they want to do. But we're saying if one does take this construct, these 10 assumptions and these definitions that we have, then the only answer is that it's all love. It's unconditional love that gives us everything we ask for. What are our requests? Okay, these are our first 4 assumptions.
How did we do the ask?
What are our requests? Our consciousness. Okay, what are the aspects of our consciousness that determine our frequency? It's actually physics. It actually determines our frequency, what reality we experience. It has to do with our vibratory level. And these, we call them the 7 A's because they all begin with A, the letter A. And so we call them our 7 A's, and they're our requests to the conscious loving universe. And here they are in one sentence. Okay? All right. So listen very closely to the modifier of the A. Okay? With expanded awareness and accurate assumptions, we choose our attitude, consciously direct our attention, align with our highest inner promptings. And actually, we've added an 8th A, which is attune to the universal energies. Take committed action, which is the kicker, because we have to act from that place to get into that frequency. And allow the loving universe to manifest beyond our wildest dreams.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because when you do that, like I broke up with my ex a few years ago, and it put me in this place of, I don't know what I'm doing now. I had no security anymore, no financial income. Everything was terrible. And you go into this place of survival in yourself where I kind of stopped trusting the loving universe. And I kept thinking, well, I'm really good at manifesting. Why aren't I manifesting now? What's going on? And it was because I was kind of blocked in this, desperately trying to make something happen for myself to make it okay. But then since I found that trust again, and it's been a journey, but since I found it, and every now and again you just feel that love, and it's surprising what doors just open and just things just come, and you think, I had something today where I just started running a detox group, and someone in the group said, "Oh, Jenna, your food's amazing. You should have a cafe." And I said, "Oh, I've always wanted to do that." And the next minute, I had a meeting today with this millionaire that's got loads of opportunity and really wants me on board, and it was like, whoa, where did that come from? It wasn't in my plan. That's not something that I thought up. It wasn't something that came from my desires or ego or any of those things. It's just when you sit back and you allow, and you kind of have a direction in your head of something, but you just kind of put it out there and continue, and it comes from unexpected places. And I always find that the universe has more. It's just always more than you could have dreamed of. And that's what I liked about what you said in your thing. It's always more than you can dream of. You know, you can dream up what's possible, you know?
Yeah, I always say, I'm not going to tell the universe what I want. I want what it wants for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So the only thing I do say is ease and grace to freedom. That's all I want, is ease and grace to freedom.
That's the prompt.
That's the prompt.
That's the prompt to the loving universe, which has an awful lot of options up its sleeve.
Yeah, it's always great when you see it unfolding as well, and you're like, oh. And I said out loud, I said, "What are you up to? What's going on here? I don't know, but I'm just going to go along for the ride."
You remember that story about Jesus where he's on the mount and he's doing this sermon and 5,000 people have showed up and there's not much for lunch?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he reaches up into the dark matter universe stash and brings down what? Loaves and fishes, and there's 40 bushel baskets of leftovers.
Yes.
He had something going, but he knew that the universe was abundant beyond. We can't even imagine what's there.
Yeah, and I know Native Americans who have a never-ending pot of soup. Okay,
right.
So that's what we're saying. In this higher frequency, it's a completely new ballgame. We manifest with our thinking, etc. You know, I just have been shown that that's what being a futurist is all about. And I saw it through the Native American way of life. And their cosmology. And that's what this trust frequency is, this construct. It comes from indigenous cosmology, quantum science, Eastern and Western mysticism, and plain common sense, because we all know it in our hearts. We've just incarnated, well, on the planet, the vibration has been a vibration of fear and separation and scarcity. So it makes total sense. Everything we've ever done, humanity has done to each other, because if there's not enough and there's the other, you have to fight with the other to survive.
And also, it's what we know, isn't it? If you've always known abuse, then you go into your in your childhood, if you've always had abuse, you go into your adult life expecting abuse. So everywhere you look, you see it. Now, if we've come from a history of conflict and war and fear, how do we expect, and poverty, how do we expect that it's ever going to be anything other than it is, as a collective? And I was gifted with this imprint of utopia since I was a child. I've been able to see it. So my whole life, I've been fighting for this utopia that I can see,
us too.
Yeah. And I know, I can tell. and it's like, because I have that, it's like, I know I can see all this and history has been like this, but we could be like this. And that's what Elevate is all about. And all the people from literally around the world who also kind of have this blueprint are kind of coming together in Elevate. And it almost feels like we can network in that way. Like, how can we have more utopia? And everyone's kind of showcasing what they're doing in their little pockets to help with, with what you're doing and what Amanda's doing, and how amazing that Amanda's doing it here and you're doing it there, but you're collaborating.
Thanks to Zoom.
Thanks to Zoom so far. We haven't yet to meet in person. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Zoom showed up in a group that we're part of that's absolutely beautiful called Unity Earth. Do you know Unity Earth? Unity.earth?
No.
Unity.earth. Check it out. Come, show up. Welcome.
Anyone who's listening to this.
Walk in. It's every Wednesday, and it comes out of Australia. It's wonderful.
We'll send you a link.
Here shows up this beautiful English voice speaking this beautiful poetry, and it was Amanda.
Oh, it's lovely poetry. Yeah.
A couple of years ago, she showed up as a poet. And now we're learning much more about her depth. We didn't know at that point about her films and her story about her mom and all of those things, and the work she's done, which is extraordinary. Just blessed her.
For elder care and caring for the elders there in England.
Yeah.
Apparently she's been actually world known for this.
Films around it and everything. Yeah, I did a podcast with her last year, actually, and we talked all about that. So yeah, if people want to see more about that, there's a podcast with Amanda Waring, and there's links to her YouTube on that podcast, so people can go and watch her films. But yeah, she's incredible lady. And there's not just one direction. It's just like she's just a gift to the world, isn't she?
Yeah, she's big.
She is, and we're just so blessed that Spirit has brought us together.
Yeah.
And I saw this 30 years ago. I saw that all the people in their hearts were going to be connected all over the globe at deep levels of resonance and trust. And that when Spirit gave the signal, we just get the job done. Didn't have to say, oh, who's the what and what's what. I mean, just the fact that we're together on this podcast, you trusted.
A degree of trust that's already here.
You felt the resonance.
Amazing.
And I didn't know I was going to be a part of it, but I'll tell you, being a part of it is so amazing. It's what keeps me going, the magic of being right here with you right now and coming to Elevate and all that. I mean, and just seeing the coming together now, which is being forced on us by all this, well, not forced on us, but the doors opening to the human heart because of here in the United States, the immigration stuff that's going on with ICE.
We've got so much immigration stuff happening here as well.
People opening their hearts to the immigrants and saying, hey, I love that guy who works next to me, who's from wherever. I love, and so we can't legislate it. We have to become it. We have to choose it with free will to become one and see and experience our oneness with all of creation, which is what's carried in the indigenous knowing and the sacredness of all life. And the sacredness has a vibration. So once we start seeing all of life and all of creation as sacred, it puts us in another frequency. So That's was what brought me to the trust frequency was the indigenous way of knowing, and nobody is aligned with it yet. Everyone has been influenced by that lower frequency. All races, the
Yeah.
red, the white, the yellow, the black. I mean, done really crummy stuff to each other, really good
Mm.
stuff, crummy stuff, and now we're in a higher frequency that's leading us to opening our hearts.
Yeah, it's like we almost need to like stop getting caught up in all the details of the past now. Everyone's been
Absolutely,
bad.
let it
Everyone
go.
was in a low vibration. Let's just forgive that. Come on, let's all rise and create unity and love. And like, it seems really simple, doesn't it? But
And the
it's just
song
taken a
Imagine
while
describes it.
it's taken a while for the 100th monkey kind of
Absolutely.
ripple to happen. But
Absolutely.
That's a lot of
it's
monkeys,
in just my lifetime, I've seen the big shift. So you must have seen it too. It just how I remember, being the only vegan I knew, for instance, when I was in my early 20s, and then or not, if I went out into a restaurant, I could only have a side salad.
I
Whereas
know
now
that
there's
one.
like 3 or 4 options, and I'm sat scratching my head because I'm not very good with choices, and now there's so much choice. And just on that one little thing, I've seen such a huge shift in
Oh, yeah.
consciousness. So it's happening, and I feel like more and more people are kind of waking up to the sort of the governments and how they work, and how actually it doesn't fit with actually how our consciousness is at now. We don't want that now, and more people are kind of speaking about it, even if it can even be in those lower frequency realms, in like conspiracy theories and all of that. But it's still a stepping stone where people are kind of going from there out, so times are really, really shifting, and it's exciting to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, as the earth is shifting frequency, see, we're getting a lot of help. We
Mm.
couldn't do it on our own in that, because if the vibration is influencing us, we're still there. And now the earth is shifting frequencies with the solar flares, the Schumann resonance, and the ETs waiting for us to just break through and come into that frequency. And in that frequency, there's, look what the ETs can do with their travel. They don't need oil. I mean, we're fighting over oil. We get into other frequency, we're going to have power beyond anything we can fathom, and
Yeah.
abundance beyond anything we can fathom. So war becomes totally obsolete because there's no one to fight with, nothing
Mm,
to fight over.
mm.
So peace on earth is a given.
Yeah,
And
and actually, it's the collective vibration is just a ripple of our own individual vibration, isn't it? So once we get out of fear, we can't be controlled, and we come from a place of love. If we all just individually work on ourselves, that is for the collective, isn't it? And
absolutely.
yeah.
Because what science is showing us. And that's why we bring in the science. So the intellect, the head can align, as I said. And so science is showing us it's a holographic universe. What that means is that the whole universe exists in the tiniest, tiniest plank thing.
Yes.
So we are the universe.
Yeah.
Everything we do, say, think, and feel matters. So we have a responsibility to feed that collective with the highest vibration we can. No
Mm,
shame, no blame. We're
mm,
doing our low vibration work.
mm,
No shame, no blame, because shame and blame and guilt and all that stuff is a low vibration. So we
mm,
just love ourselves, say, hey, guess what? I'm in a high frequency today, and tomorrow I'm not sure I'm going to be. So
mm,
it's just so important to do the individual work, just knowing how important we are to all of creation. And what
mm.
I say is, all of creation is awaiting the opening of the human heart and the love we carry. Somehow we're very, very special. And we've come here to transmute those energies of fear and separation and scarcity, and we've done a great job. So bravo, humanity. And now we get to open our hearts and really shift all of creation and get in contact and family with our cosmic brothers and sisters.
Turn them for the next level. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you've got that one up your sleeve, have you?
There's a couple of things we have up our sleeves that I want to make sure we get to mention. Connie,
Yeah.
Yes.
Connie earlier on mentioned a phrase, the dance of souls. That probably just passed on by, but some of the listeners may have noticed that. What on earth did she mean by the dance of souls? I'm a soul and I can dance. Okay, we know the dead can dance, but so that's you know the band.
The Dead Can
Probably.
Dance.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Fantastic band. Check them out. But
Oh, I will. Yeah.
the dance of souls is about applied trust frequency work applied to relationships. Our relationships have a function, have a purpose. Our challenges in our relationships, especially, those are the ones that just blow the door open and give us an opportunity to emerge as our true, real selves. So Connie's a mirror who walks into my life. I see this extraordinarily beautiful being. And other times I look into that very same mirror and it's like, ah,
Because I'm triggered, and he triggers, I trigger, and you should see us when we're triggered. Oh no, you don't want to.
and sense of humor is a very valuable thing.
But it's hard.
If I can finally laugh at myself, I can't laugh at her, that's not right. But I can laugh at myself and say, what a quit you are, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and do that inner work that we discussed before.
That was the one thing. Okay, so the Dance of Souls is an online course that we have. It's a powerful, deep potential weekend or even week-long workshop.
That we're doing there at
So
Elevate.
I'm actually going to do Dance of Souls.
Yeah, well, we're gonna,
Perfect.
we're gonna.
Yeah, good. I'm
Mesh it with
catching up
Amanda.
some of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
Good. I'm working so hard.
Ladies will tell you what you're doing, Andrew. Don't worry.
I
Exactly.
take direction. The other thing is the word indigenous. A lot of our information and inspiration comes to us directly from our indigenous personal friends. And I just wanted your audience to know that we are deeply, deeply connected with Native Americans. We're about to attend in the next 2 months, 2 beautiful gatherings of Native American elders.
That we've been associated with for over a decade.
Right. And we've just come back from Australia where we were doing corroborees with the Aboriginals. So, and for me personally, it goes back to about 1970 was met my first Native American, Chief Sun Bear, and did my first sweat lodge and all of those things. It began a long time ago. And Connie has had this extraordinary relationship with some of the most beautiful Lakota elders and
All over
some of those.
Mayans, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for the missing pieces of our paradigm. And I went to Europe looking for it and found the same thinking because this Western culture came from Europe. And then visionary Native elders started coming into my life, and I saw through them what I saw to be the true nature of the universe, which we all carry in our hearts. So that's what science is proving now, and that's what the Trust Frequency book is about. And so this is the Trust Frequency book, and people can get it there in England on Amazon. So
Right.
yeah, so
It's funny that the Elevate colours are orange.
are
There
they?
you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Great. So this is indigenous cosmology, quantum science synthesis. So it's neither one, it's both into this trust frequency, 10
And
assumptions for a new
I
paradigm.
wonder how many of your listeners recognize this character here. He's a sort of a trickster deity from the American Southwest, and he represents all of for me, he represents all of indigenous wisdom, and his name is Kokopelli. And so this equation, this is the new mathematics. Kokopelli equals MC squared, and everybody knows MC squared. So it's
Yeah.
the total balance between indigenous wisdom and the whole of Western wisdom and science and everything else.
Well,
So
science
both-
catches up eventually, doesn't it?
Well, it is big time.
Yeah.
Major,
Yeah,
major,
in fact,
major.
Get there in the end.
So that whole
Yeah.
Newtonian Descartes thing is a thing of the past.
Yeah.
And that's
the new science and new physics. Whoa, it is ancient indigenous wisdom expressed in modern terms is one way of looking at it.
But what that Newtonian construct did, it put us on the fast track to seeing that it doesn't work to be separate from our hearts. from the rest of creation. See, so for me, everything serves. So rather than, oh, shame and blame and, oh, that's terrible what happened with that construct. No, it put us on the fast track so that everything is just so obviously doesn't work, because we can't be separated from our hearts and the rest of creation and universal law and be flourishing. So
Science put us out into space so that we can look back at planet Earth and see what's really going on beyond the limited view we have from the surface. If you're up in orbit, the overview effect, you see something completely different. And I tell you, those astronauts come back transformed by looking at our beautiful Mama. I love calling her Mama Gaia.
Yeah.
What you got
in
there?
your book.
Andrew
has a new book that he's doing. So that's the
it's called Holo
Sapiens. Cover. You see the cover?
Yeah.
Cool.
And the subtitle is Conscious Evolution in Action. So try that one on for a moment. Conscious evolution. Conscious evolution. What's that? In other words, there are still in America, there are lots of people who don't believe in evolution. Well, firstly, evolution's real. And secondly, there's a brand new idea, not so brand new, 100 years old or so, but the idea that we are still evolving. And as we become aware that we are still evolving, we can get involved and help to guide the direction in which we evolve. I
was actually listening to your friend's book after we had a conversation the other day. The Conscious Evolution.
Barbara Marx Hubbard.
Yeah.
Barbara?
Yeah.
She's
the mother.
She's the queen.
I was listening to her book.
Promoting her to the queen.
The queen.
She's known as the mother of conscious evolution. I hereby nominate her for Queen of Conscious Evolution. She used to live right here with us. Connie was the last person with her. I mean, we were very, very close for the last 2 years of her life.
Yeah.
And then she left us, and we miss her terribly. But she left behind an incredible heritage. And this book does the best I can to pick up where she left off.
Yeah, amazing.
Going back into the 100-year-odd to amazing thinkers like Sri Aurobindo and Teilhard de Chardin that your listeners may never have heard of. But that's what this book is. It sort of brings you up to date. And then it says, and you too can do this. And this is how. This is a how-to book. It's directed directly to the reader. And it says, we're about to move from so-called, I call us Homo so-called sapiens. Are we really sapient? Are we the wise hominid being? Doesn't matter at this point. We've got as far as we've got. And now the opportunity arrives to get personally involved. You can change. I can change. Connie can change. A total stranger that you meet on the train can change just by hearing something. And that something is that you can get in, you can evolve. You're not done yet. Your purpose here on Earth, one of our main purposes, I believe, is to evolve. And once we get to that next level, we're in the trust frequency. We've sort of, if you take the essence of everything that this whole sort of awakening ever since the 1960s, if you take all of that, put it into sort of an ideal human being, I'm giving that human being a new species name, not Homo sapiens, but with an L, Holo sapiens, the holistic human, the awake human, the integrated human, the connected human, the one who is is a participant in the loving universe. We're not just passive observers or passive creations.
We're creating it all.
We've got a job to do.
We get to create it.
Job to do. And once you spread this word, all those things like war and even diseases, and so much of that simply goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're in a higher frequency.
Yeah, we've changed.
We've changed frequencies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's exciting. He's got this new book coming out, and he brings in the trust frequency and the Dance of Souls and other work.
And the Cosmic Hologram. Do you know that book by
Jude Currivan?
Jude Currivan, the extraordinary English. I believe she lives in London.
No, she lives in Avebury.
Oh, she's in Avebury, so she's going to be right there.
Yeah, she's
just down the road.
Yeah, and it's a wholeworldview.org, I think. Wholeworld-view.org is her her website, Jude Currivan.
Quantum physicist, extraordinary, being good friend, a colleague of ours. We've done a lot of presentations together.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and she's global, and she's major in bringing forth this science, the science of unitive love, and
Think about that, the
SOUL.
science of unitive love, soul. You always wondered what soul stood for? Science of unitive love.
So check her out.
Yeah, I love the whole evolution, like I'm addicted to it, because when you just look at, like, when I look at my own journey, and it's like, oh, and then I raise my frequency to there, and then I raise my frequency to there, and I just think, where else can I go? Like, this isn't it.
Unlimited. It's boundless. It never ends.
This isn't it, and I don't want to get settled here, because what's the next bit? What does that look like? Rather, and then it makes life more exciting and worth living, and it gives you a lust for life. Whereas if you just think, oh well, this is me and this is it, I just think, well, no wonder people age so badly or something, because it just, that's it. If this is just it. But I love being on a kind of evolution journey, like, what's next, how can I improve on that, or how can, and then it makes life exciting, but also to be empowered enough to know that you're a creator, and then the power that gives, and then you stop giving your power away, and so you stop being a victim, and
Right. Yeah.
But look what you're doing with Elevate. You're bringing the world together in this higher frequency. So you're giving your gift
again,
to this process.
But that's not even me. that's the loving universe working through me. And I got the message. It said, you have to do another festival. And I said, well, that's a bit of a big ask, because I don't have any resources. I don't have any money. It's just me. And then I said I needed to see an owl. So an owl flew above my head. And then, so I trusted it. I thought, okay, well, I've got that communication with the universe. It's just proved that we are in communication, and that's, so as soon as I allowed that trust, it just unfolded. And friends have been watching the process the whole time. And they're like, Jenna, how are you doing this? Because I'd be scared, how are you? And I was going, it's all right, because I saw the owl, and so I trust the universe, and I'm in the trust. And then it's all just panned out perfectly, well, not perfectly, there's always mistakes to make, but
no mistakes. There's
always
that's
feedback.
Impossible.
Really important.
No mistakes.
Yeah. Can't have a mistake. If something
that word disappears,
and that moment is gone, and there's a lesson from it, maybe, but
it's sending us on another track or whatever. So let me tell you something about the owl. This my daughter. I was hiking with my daughter. Sees through the veil. Okay, so I'm hiking with my daughter, and we're going along this trail, and she stops and she says, and there's a rabbit that's come in front of us, and she says, Mom, that's a holographic rabbit. Okay, so what I came to understand is, see that owl, the loving universe can form itself into anything it wants.
I got goosebumps again.
Okay.
An owl or a rabbit.
Okay, an owl or a rabbit. And so I got it, because in the native way, you're out walking and a deer crosses your path, and the deer's saying something to you because you know the symbol of the deer.
Yeah.
So, my dear, I just got this right now, because I've thought this for decades. I saw it decades ago. But how did that owl get there right then and there?
Yeah.
Okay, because the loving universe can form itself. So it just made itself into an owl to say to you, yeah, go girl.
So it didn't even feel like normal. I knew it was the universe in that moment, because I just started laughing, and I said, oh yeah,
that's
go
right.
one step bigger. Like I understood the joke.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah. So I take it even further and saying, this table, our cup that we drink out of, whatever, it's just showing up because it loves us. Okay, so that turns the whole world into just this loving entity, that it can go away, how our keys go away and our socks disappear in the dryer. I mean, I had a whole nightgown disappear once, so it's just the loving universe. So if we just get it, that we're just so loved, that all this is showing up for us because it loves us. And the
Yeah.
trees out there are showing up for us, giving us oxygen, So instead of going out and thinking, oh, when's this tree going to fall on me? We go, oh my goodness. Oh, yes. Thank you, tree, for the
And if it does
oxygen.
fall on us, thank you, tree.
And also, I think it really helps with our health as well, because if you're stressed, like before we came on this podcast, I was having problems with my internet, and I actually had to phone the internet company and everything. And I thought,
Oh, wow.
I thought, I've got half an hour to sort this out. And I thought, well, I'm speaking to you and we're talking about the trust frequency. I'm just going to trust that this is all okay and everything will be fine. And I even sent you a message saying, I'm just having a few technical issues, but I trust everything will be okay. And not once did my heart rate accelerate, or did I feel like, oh, what's going on? I just thought, it's okay. I just need to go through some motions and it'll be fine. And we came on exactly at the right time that we were supposed to come on, and everything was sorted
was
out.
impeccable.
But I could have lost my shit over that situation.
You are the trust frequency poster.
You're in the trust. You just stop. You just, life's easier. Life feels
It makes such a difference in terms of effortlessness when you truly trust. And there's plenty of time. And if you're supposed to be there at 7 o'clock and you look at the clock when you get there and it says 7:00 again for the 4,000th time, when you didn't look at the time the whole time, and you drove 50 miles and you got there and you walked in at 7:00. Oh, it's over, and it's hilarious. It's a joke. It's
almost like we could say to the viewers, if they've never been in the trust frequency, it's like, give it a go and keep watching the synchronicities, isn't it? Just let it, just give over, surrender to the universe and just see. And then you'll start trusting it, because things do just work out when you do that.
And it takes bold, committed action.
But then you trust it. The more it happens, the more it helps you have that confidence in the trust, doesn't it? It's a bit like a relationship with a partner, isn't it? Is this the same with your relationship with the universe? It's the more you just allow it to be in your best interest, it proves itself, and then your trust becomes stronger.
So an awful lot of people are challenged by the whole idea of trust. A book called The Trust Frequency brings up people's, they go, wait a minute, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust the government. I don't trust my brother. I don't trust my sweetheart, etc., etc. That's very common. So here's a really good question. Who or what can I trust? So firstly, you can trust. You're going to have to take this on trust from me, you or us. You can trust the loving universe. You may not know that yet, but take it on faith. You can trust the loving universe
to show you your light and your shadow.
Now, how do you? Then the second thing you trust is yourself. You trust your intuition. Nobody knows you like you. You trust yourself, and if you're untrustworthy, know that and say, okay, I'm not really trustworthy. Like I stole that thing the other day and stuff like that. So just trust yourself. Why did you do that? Was there a lesson to be learned? So trust yourself. The next one is trust the process. This whole thing is not easy, especially if you're in a victim mentality, especially if you've been abused. Know that it's hard, it's challenging, it's difficult. You'll fall down, but with trust, you pick yourself up. And you fall down, you'll pick yourself up. And finally, trust the timing, because we somehow are not in charge of the timing. So once we just learn to let go of this artificial concept,
we want everything now, don't we?
We want everything right now. And if I don't get it right now, I'm going to be really annoyed and I'm going to go have a beer.
But it's not happening. I'm not manifesting it. I must be rubbish at this. I don't trust the universe because it didn't happen right now. That's a common one.
Exactly. So, So once you learn to truly trust the process and trust the timing, that you've sort of got the roadmap. What to do. Firstly, know that it's possible to trust the universe. That's probably a very abstract thing to most people. They don't know what the universe is. Religious people, you could say, trust God.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, actually, it's very simple.
Trust
in God we trust.
In God we trust.
America.
If you believe it's a man with a beard on the cloud, will you trust him? If you believe it's whatever you think it is, there is this
You can start with that, right?
source
But
consciousness, whatever
but
you translate
yeah,
that as. Yeah.
but it's very hard to find agreement among different people from different religious backgrounds as to who that being is that one should trust. The thing we can all agree on is the fact that we live in a universe. And through science, we now know that it's an interconnected universe, that every quark, every molecule, every electron is connected to every other one without limit all the way into the unimaginable space. And this is what people don't know. It's alive. It's alive. That's why we call it the conscious loving universe. It's more than just conscious. Conscious means it's awake, it's aware, or those 7 A's that Connie mentioned. That's for humans. It is consciousness itself. Consciousness predated the Big Bang. What went on before the Big Bang when all of this whole wild universe popped into being, right? Consciousness. It was alive, it was awake, it was aware, and it was ready to manifest something that we call the universe.
We call love with a capital L.
And that energy with a capital L, we like to call it love, not holding hands love, not the way I feel about my granddaughter or my sweetheart here.
Now, there's a big difference.
It is that which creates and sustains all that is. That's what love with a capital L is. You can take the equation, the famous equation, E equal mc squared, and replace the E because it's that energy. If you want to know how much energy there is in the universe, E equals mc squared is a very simple formula that tells you how to calculate it. If you want to know how much love there is in the universe, replace the E with L, and it means exactly the same thing. It is the energy that is the universe, that creates the universe, that knows everything, that has no sense of time, so it actually knows past and present and future and all of those things all together. And it's an extraordinary universe we live in, and it has a sense of humor. And
Yeah.
for an awake human being, there's a sense of awe, of the joy of it, of the magic of it. It's absolute magic. And when we trust it, boy, does it have a bag of tricks up its sleeve, like a
And when you
millionaire's
tune into it, like that is the most healthiest vibration to tune into, but when you tune into that love, your cells feel it, that's health.
Well, but one thing we have to see and understand is even the things we see as not love.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to list them because I don't put my attention on them.
Yeah.
See, that's what our construct does. It helps people understand that even those things we see as not love are in fact love, because there's only love. So we get beyond victim, perpetrator, right, wrong, good, evil, which is the huge leap for humanity. But we've got to make it for us to get into the very highest frequency, into that field Rumi talks about, beyond right doing and wrong doing. There is a field, I'll meet you there. And the word other makes no sense, etc. I don't know the whole by heart, but it's key. And that's what this construct does, this 10 assumptions and our definitions. So how are we doing for time?
Well, was there something else you would like to touch on?
Well, we could chat for.
We could go on for a couple of
Well, I
weeks.
mean, I could talk to you two for eternity.
Right.
But I think we've touched on so much for people to chew on and ponder, and and they'll resonate to certain pieces of it and not other pieces, and that's just important to do.
I'd just like to ask you, what would the advice be right now? Because there are, without mentioning anything, there is things going on where it's inducing fear in people. How do they keep the trust frequency at this time? What is the best message that you can give people all over the world right now?
Well, one thing I would say, and it is just key, for your individual reality, keep your vibration as high as possible, okay? And that feeds the collective for the collective shift. But there is some talk of shifting dimensions and new earths and stuff like that, okay? So if you want to choose to go with the higher dimension when this split happens, I don't know. I mean, you've been hearing about it for decades, and it seems to be imminent. It depends which reality you want for your future. And you can't be attached to your husband, your wife, your kids, your aunts, uncles. You can't be attached. They have to choose theirs.
Yeah.
But you get to choose yours. You get to
I
choose your
really
reality
felt
on
that.
it right now, and you get to choose which crowd you're going with if things are going to actually split. The
I really
dimensions are
felt
going.
that in 2020 when the big episode and then I begged my family not to have the injection. I don't want to say it, but and then when everyone did, that was my moment where I almost separated a piece of myself. It was like, okay, well, you've made your choice. And so what you said then, about you almost need to let go of all attachments,
And
because
judgment.
you don't know who's going to decide what, and then you just have to.
And bless
Yeah,
them, and everyone's journey is their unique journey.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
And here would be my piece of advice as a meditator. So, not everybody's a meditator, not everybody knows about it or knows how to do it. But literally, if you find yourself in fear, just sit down somewhere peaceful, somewhere quiet. Most of us can do that. It's not always possible, but if you can, especially if you can do it in nature, if you can walk out and sit down under a tree or something like that, but just sit and breathe
mm,
and be aware of your breath. Be conscious of your breath. And as you do so, you might just remember. So think, sit, breathe, remember. And what might you remember? You might remember who you really, really are, and what you really, really are, and what you really, really are a part of. If I, Andrew, am truly a conscious, intelligent, participating being in a conscious, loving universe, and I know that, and if I'm a spirit that came from somewhere else, from some other dimension perhaps, and I was born in Coventry, England, long time ago, long before you, and and somehow I entered this planet, and it was right at the end of World War II. Coventry was a pile of rubble. So why would I, as a conscious spirit, why would I choose to go there? That's an interesting question. I ask myself that question. But if I remember that I am a spirit in this material world, as Teilhard de Chardin said, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. So no matter what happens, including death, including getting sick and dying, or there's a war and you die in the war, or whatever it is, that is the end of this very temporary thing called human life. Now you're back wherever back is, and you're looking around and you're going like, okay, whoa, that was wild. What next? And you look forward to your next incarnation. I want to go to, that galaxy. And I don't know, but I do know that it's fun, that it's beautiful, that it's conscious, that it's engaging, that it's educating. It's honestly, it's thrilling.
I think
And
I'll
if
be having
you
a
can
bit
get,
of holiday there before I come back.
if you can get from being,
Well-deserved holiday.
if you can get from being afraid to being thrilled, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Excited.
and just look to see how everything is serving the coming of peace on earth and heaven on earth. If you look at it from that perspective, you'll get a whole different answer. Because for me, that's absolutely true.
It's all
So,
about where you put your focus, isn't it? If you keep looking at those things, well, then they're going to be what the
and
dimension.
how are they transforming? How are they participating?
Yeah.
Everything, there's a secret purpose of history that it serves the lower frequency and it serves the higher frequency. So for me, it's all about the coming of peace on earth and heaven on earth. That's all there is in my reality. So Just want to share.
Amazing. Oh, I can't wait to meet you this summer.
We'll have so
And
much fun.
yes,
So there's a 2-word summary, 2 words. We have a little button that we'll give you when we see you. It says, just trust. Little poem, shortest poem you can imagine, right? It's a poem, just trust. And then the long version, which is 4 words, trust the loving universe. If you can do those 2 things, you're going to be fine. And by fine, I mean, you're going to be enjoying life. You're going to be loving life. You're not going to be looking for a
we need
place
to
to
get
hide.
that printed on some t-shirts, don't we? Just
Yeah,
trust.
we do. Just trust. Yeah, yeah.
And
Oh, well,
so many
thank
people have seen all the things like you with your life journey. You've seen that it's put you where you're intended to be and who you're intended to be. So every people who've had incredible trauma and everything have come to that
yes, I
place
have. Yeah.
where they have gratitude for it.
Gratitude
That's
is
Yeah.
another
you.
word we haven't mentioned. Gratitude is
Gratitude. I
critical.
mean, I had abuse from many perpetrators by the time I was even 19, that over since I was 4 years old. And so for different types of abuse, it's not even just one type. And I was so in the victim mode, and I was so low frequency, and I turned to alcohol and drugs because that was numbing it all. And I did all of that myself. So I totally understand. It's not like we're saying this and we don't understand what it's like to be in the lowest, deepest, darkest places. The amount of times I just wished I had the nerve to end it, but I never did. So I used to be so low. But when you pull yourself out of that and you stop playing the programs and you stop, you get to choose. That's the biggest thing. It's like whatever happens to me, it's like a past life now. I've healed so much from it. I can easily talk about those things. I actually came face to face with one of the perpetrators a couple of days ago, and
Ooh.
I thought, oh, for a second it shook me up, and then I didn't. I felt strong, and I thought, well, that's a Mercury retrograde, isn't it, showing me the past? And it's actually because those things happened that I gained all the wisdom that I have, and that I'm the person that I am, that I do the things that I do, and so I'm so grateful for those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yay, girl.
None of them are taking my power away. None of them are going to allow me to be a victim, because I'm so grateful of it. And now I get to help other people rise from the shadows, and that's,
Wonderful. Yeah.
yeah. So you get to rewrite the program,
Fine.
for yourself. You get to rewrite your story.
Another big one is we have a choice. Our
Yeah.
4th assumption is witch's node. What is it?
What? Which assumption is it?
Okay, free will.
Free will. That's number 5.
So
Yeah.
number 5, we have the 10 assumptions. We have the book, the subtitle is 10 Assumptions for a New Paradigm. And we literally I said, well, there were the 10 commandments. Why don't we have 10 assumptions? Because we all have assumptions. Let's have assumptions that we choose ourselves. Let's not just take on whatever we were taught as kids, and those assumptions usually led us to believe we were worthless. We flip that. And the 5th assumption is free will. In other words,
Is an absolute law of the universe.
free will is an absolute law of the universe. Now, who believes that? That's pretty different from I have, I just don't have any, they call it agency, I don't have it because wrong. Free will is an absolute law of the universe.
We have the freedom to choose our frequency. We are masters of our own destiny.
Yes.
Each and every one of us, there's no hierarchy. Everybody has exactly the same amount of free will, and it's unlimited.
Yeah.
And we made this overarching act. See, I asked the universe if there was, this difference between predestination and free will. And what I got was this overarching act of free will that we give when we come on the planet. And we give permission to the loving universe to take us on this journey. So if we came to die by murder, somebody has to murder us. Okay, I take it to that place. And my daughter, who I said sees through the veil about the holographic rabbit. She said, yeah, Mom, if there isn't a person to do the murdering, a holographic person will show up to do it.
Mm.
Okay, so that's extreme free will understanding. That's the huge leap.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. But it makes sense.
To you, it does.
Okay.
Look, you are the poster child of the trust frequency, and we call people like you trust freaks.
Trust
F-R-E
freaks. Oh, I'll wear that.
Freak.
I'll wear that like a label. Okay.
F-R-E-Q-U-E-S.
How do you spell the word freak? Freque.
Oh,
Freak.
okay. Yes. Yes.
We're
That's
pretty
me.
silly.
Trust
We
freak.
have fun. We
I
have a lot
love
of
it.
fun.
Yes. Amazing. So where can people find you? And can you show us, you've got the Trust Frequency book.
Mhm.
Yeah, the trustfrequency.net is our website for the Trust Frequency book. We are also filmmakers, and we're going to be screening our films around during the festival season as well. And our film website is insearchofthefuturemovie.com. And we haven't even gone into that at all.
That's
What
a
our
whole other subject.
our
Right.
films.
In Search of the Future is our movie series going back to 2004,
Right.
where we were in the
Well, I
Kalahari.
think we're going to have you back. There's just too much to talk
Yeah,
about.
it is.
I know. So
No,
just know that we have a new series, In Search of the Future. The only way out is up in frequency. We have over 250 messages from wisdom carriers all over the world for catalyzing a new way of seeing and being, so that when people watch the film, they go, aha, yes, I can do that. I can be that. Like I saw with the Native people that came into my life in 30 years ago. So that's what our film series
Now, in
does.
the new book, there's a new website coming out in the next couple of weeks, literally. March 21st is the launch day for the website. And I have a Substack, which is, if your readers know what that is, it's
We both have
a
Substack.
place where you write and can share your stuff there. So there's a lot of ways people can get to us. I think what we should do, Jenna, is just send you a list, and you could put them in. I don't know
I'm
if you
going to
can.
put it in the description on
Yeah.
the,
Yeah, and you
Spotify.
choose what you think
Yes.
is relevant, because it's way too much.
And
Oh,
our pilgrim stuff is first50years.us.
First 50 years, which is
50
what we look
years.
at. 1620, when the English pilgrims came over on the Mayflower, met the Indians, and then spent more than 50 years, more than half a century in peace and harmony with them,
wow.
until the Indians declared war on them, and it became a mess ever since. But that was a magical moment that's not a lot of Americans even know about that.
So many other people had arrived to pressure. By 54 years later, the whole scene had changed. But meanwhile, that's our
It was
other
a
work.
magical time, and Connie's
Ancestry.
DNA was on that boat. That's how she got to America, on that boat. It's interesting, her DNA.
My auntie's done, because my surname's Presley, and my auntie has done our ancestry, and we always knew we were related to Elvis through my granddad.
Okay.
Through the Irish, so for my granddad. But we've recently found out through doing my nan's ancestry that we're also related to him via his mum. So
Oh,
double
wow.
related to Elvis.
Oh, that's
And
Yeah,
so you are related, I
and
wonder.
through that heritage, there's also the real Pocahontas that married the captain.
Yeah.
So we're
Mhm.
related to them as well somehow, and Elvis was as well.
oh,
That's
Elvis's
interesting.
ancestors are my ancestors also. So yeah, that's
Cool.
oh, wow.
Okay.
Cool.
That's Connie's nickname. Some people call her Pocahontas.
well, well, there you go. There we've got that connection as well, Connie. I love that. I was so
Well,
excited when I saw a couple of Native American Indians in the family tree thing. I was like, yes, I knew it.
Yeah.
all right.
Well, that's wonderful.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, really
Great.
exciting. So I will see you in August, and
Yes.
I will share this far and wide and put all your
Great.
links below. And
Sweet.
it's just
Wonderful.
been so wonderful hearing everything you had to say and just resonating with all of it so much that I
Well,
know
we love your
everything
stories.
is gospel. I absolutely know it. So it's just so beautiful to hear it from somebody else that's just got way more wisdom. You know, it's just really good to hear.
All the same with
No, my darling.
we
Tapping
Oh,
into the
listen,
same
you have so many
realm.
gifts, what you see and what you know and your life experience in the cosmic realms so complement ours. And everybody has a unique gift. So that's the important thing, is to bring the different pieces of the puzzle together so we can see
Yeah.
the picture. Until we get put all the pieces together, we can't see the picture because it's never been on the planet before. What's
Yeah.
coming on this planet, what we're bringing to the planet with our gifts, is something that has never been here before. So
there.
we just trust and allow and take the next step with bold, committed action.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, Jenna.
Thank you.
What a treat.